Hello, my name is Eric and I am with amoresuccessfulyou.com, and today I want to talk about the product rule in calculus, specifically in derivatives. Okay, let's get into it. Alright, so the product rule helps you when you have a function that can be essentially decomposed into two other functions. So let's say you have h of x and you can write it as f of x times g of x. So an example of this would be h of x equals x squared sine of x. Okay, so we can write h of x equals to f of x times g of x, where f of x equals to x squared, g of x equals sine of x. Okay, so that's the background on why we want to have a rule to help us find the derivative of such functions. So the definition of the product rule is that the derivative of the product of two functions is equal to the derivative of the first one times the second one plus the first one times the derivative of the second one. Alright, let's not forget this equation, because that's the one that we're going to be using to do all of our calculations. Alright, so let's dummy proof this equation. Okay, so we know that the power rule is f of x equals x to the n, then the derivative of fx equals to n times x to the n minus 1. Alright, so let's let h of x equal x cubed. We can write this as x times x squared. Okay, so we know that from the power rule that the derivative is 3x squared. Alright, let's do it the product rule way. So let's let f of x equals to x and g of x equal x squared. F prime is 1, g prime equals 2x. So then h prime of x is equal to one times x squared plus x times 2x equals x squared plus 2x squared equals 3x squared. Ties out. Look at that. Perfect. Alright. So let's move on to some real examples, because that was kind of silly, right? Alright. So let's write the equation again. And as I like to mention, in calculus there's always two parts to the problem. There's the picture and then there's the numbers. And so if you have a strong understanding of either side, you're going to be able to be successful in your calculus classes. If you have an understanding of both of them, then you're going to be really well off. And so starting off and when you're learning this, to have an understanding of what the equations are telling you and what the numbers mean will be very good. Would be a very good start. And so that's why we need to always keep in mind our equations. Okay, so let's do an example. Let's go back to the example that we had on the back side of this page. Alright, so h of x equals x squared sine of x. Okay? Of x equals x squared, g of x equals sine of x. Alright, what do we need? We need the derivative of x and the derivative of g. We have f and g. Alright, well now let's just plug it in. Okay, derivative of the first times the second plus the first times the derivative of the second. Perfect. That's not perfect. That is the derivative of sine is cosine. Alright, moving on. So, like I said, once you get the right derivative, and I didn't there because I was thinking backwards, because it goes sine to cosine to negative sine to negative cosine, like this, when you take the derivative of each. So I always get that messed up a little bit. Okay, so anyways, so remember, split it up. We get all of our parts, and then we just plug it in. F prime of x, g of x, f of x, g prime of x. Alright, let's do one final example. A little bit tougher. Okay, and so remember that the derivative is additive. And so what I mean by that is that when you add two functions, their derivatives also add. Alright, so that means we can do this part, and this part separately. Okay, so the first one, f of x equals that, 3x to the fourth, g of x equals the natural log of x. F prime of x equals 12x to the third, g prime of x equals 1 over x. Okay, so we did that part. F of x equals 2. There's nothing telling us, nothing says that we can't split this one up. So we have 2 times sine of x. The derivative of a constant function is 0, and the derivative of sine is cosine, and we're going to get this one right. Alright, so we got that, and now finally we have the final one. We have the exponential of x and cosine of x. The derivative of e to the x is e to the x. It's the only function whose derivative is itself. Alright, cosine minus sine, right there. We got that one. We got these. I gotta go back and work on my trig, I guess. Alright, so now let's plug it in using this. Alright, so for this first part, alright, 12x to the third times ln x, natural log of x, plus 3x to the fourth times 1 over x, plus. Okay, so now we have this times this, that's 0 times sine of x, plus 2 times cosine of x, plus equals so now I'm just writing it again, canceling out some things, and there's our result. So if this video was of help to you, hit the like button, comment below, subscribe, head over to my blog for some more information on interviewing and math help, and please let me know if you have any suggestions or tips that I can work on and improve to produce better content for you. Thank you. Have a good day.